Amplitube, like all fully featured amp sims, can be a little intimidating. I mean, what is all this stuff? Let me take you through it. Hello home music creators. Now you can get a version of the excellent amp sim Amplitube completely free, but it can be a bit tricky to use at first, especially if you've never used an amp sim before. This is a quick start guide to using it. Now certainly we're not going to cover everything that Amplitube can do. The aim of this video is to get you quickly set up with Amplitube and get you started playing your guitar through it. We'll get it installed, set up and get a sound out of it. We'll also have a brief look at presets and creating your own sounds. Now to download Amplitube, go to the Amplitube 5 CS website. There'll be a link in the description below. But you don't just download Amplitube. What you have to do, if you click on this free button here, highlighted in purple, this will take you to another page where you can download the IK Multimedia Product Manager. Click on the relevant link for your system and download and install that in the usual way. Once that's installed, you will see this IK Product Manager application, and it's through this you can then install Amplitube. Now you can see here, Amplitube 5 CS, I've got it installed, which is why it says installed there. When you first run up this Product Manager application, this will not be installed for you. You can click the install button and it will kick off the install process. Just follow the instructions on screen and you should be good to go. Amplitube can be run in two different modes, standalone and plugin. Standalone is when you're running it on its own and you'd launch it just exactly the same way as you'd launch any other app on your computer, you know, double clicking the icon or clicking the menu item in your operating system's menu. Whereas plugin mode allows you to use it as a plugin inside your DAW to provide guitar sounds for tracks when you're making a song. I'm going to concentrate on standalone mode in this video. To physically connect your guitar to Amplitube, you'll need an audio interface and you simply plug a jack cable, one end into your guitar's jack output and the other end into a jack input on your audio interface. The audio interface should be connected to your computer via USB or Thunderbolt. And one thing you want to do just before you launch Amplitube, on your audio interface, make sure that the input that you've connected your guitar to is not clipping. So turn your volume up on your guitar, play a chord, and make sure that the clipping indicator on that input on your interface is not lit. If it is, just turn down the gain a bit until you're no longer getting clipping. The first thing you've got to do is just a little bit of setup. If you click on this little hamburger icon here, we get the audio MIDI settings tab. This is the only one we're interested in for now. Now, make sure if you're on Windows that you select ASIO as the technology. ASIO is a specially designed driver which is intended for high-end audio applications. You will only get good results from Amplitube if you set it to ASIO. An ASIO driver should have been provided with your audio interface and you should have installed that when you got your interface. Now, it's important on the input section that you select the input that your guitar is plugged into. This is often a cause of not getting any sound out of Amplitube because you've selected the wrong input. My guitar is plugged into input 2 of my audio interface, so I've set input 2 there. Similarly with the outputs, my speakers and headphones are connected to output 1 and 2 of the audio interface, so that's what I've set there for the output. And finally, we'll just mention this buffer size. This is essentially a compromise between latency and sound quality. The lower the value you set buffer size, the lower the latency will be, but you might start to get audio glitches. If that happens, then increase the value of buffer size. But if you increase it too much, you risk getting more latency, which is a delay between when you play the note on the guitar and when you hear the sound coming out of Amplitube. Honestly, I would leave it at the default and only mess with it if you start to have either latency or sound quality issues. 128 seems to work well for me. Now, I should just mention that this dialogue won't look exactly the same for you unless you've got exactly the same audio interface as me. So the options you see here will be slightly different, but you should be fairly easily able to work them out. So here we are inside Amplitube. If you play a quick chord, you should now be able to hear it through Amplitube. The quickest way to get started is to use some of the preset sounds. There are loads provided in Amplitube. If you click this little folder icon here, you will see all these presets that are supplied. You can filter them using these tags. I don't know, let's just pick something. So you can see in here, sound character, clean crunch, high gain, genre, rock, metal, punk. So I'm going to let's select all the crunch sounds. So, and let's pick one of these. What's Red Grit? Let's have a listen to that. So I just double clicked on it there and you can see different components have been loaded into this window here. Let's see what that sounds like. Let's pick a different preset. So let's pick that pop, blues and solo there. Double click that. You can see again things have changed. Lovely. Let's pick one more. What's that? Mean Streets. So there we go. You can see it's very easy to change between presets. What you can also do is use these arrow buttons here to move between the presets. So if I press this down arrow button here, you can see that's changed. Press it again. You can see that's changed again. You can also see the full presets by just clicking on the name here. And this is essentially a smaller representation of what you get when you used the folder icon earlier. So you can quickly switch between all the presets here. Let's have a quick overview of the interface. So this is where your main rig is configured here. You can see all the components in it. So you can see in here we've got an amplifier, we've got the cabinet there, we've also got a pedal here, so this is a tube screamer type pedal. Whatever you click on down here will appear in a bigger version in this top window, and then you can use the controls up in this top window. So if I clicked on the amplifier, the amp appears up here. This is a little reverb unit. If I click on that, yeah, you can see the sort of rack reverb unit, and we can change all its parameters here. You've also got certain utilities like a tuner function there. So seems like my E string is slightly flat. Tuner function there. And we've got the cabinet. You can actually move these mics around for miking up the speaker. On the right hand side is all the different components, all the different gear models, amps, effects, etc. that you can bring down into your rig. If you want to add something into your rig, you simply double click on it, or you drag and drop it. To add effects pedals, you can drag and drop them into exactly where you want them to be in the signal chain. You see, I just added that compressor there. Say, what else could we add? Let's say we wanted to add a chorus pedal. We could add a chorus pedal. To take things out of your rig, you can either right click and do remove, or you can just literally drag them out of the rig there. Once you've configured your sound how you like it with the components that you want, you can save it by clicking this save button here. Give it a name. And then you can configure the tags so you can filter on the sounds like I showed you earlier. So, you know, we could say this sound character is crunch, it's pop genre, put some notes in, you get the idea. And now you can see the preset that we just saved appears in the list. And that's about it for a quick start guide to Amplitube. There's lots more I could show you, but hopefully this has been enough to get you up and running quickly with Amplitube. I encourage you to experiment with it and have a good play to really learn how to use it and get the best out of it for you. This is Paul from Home Music Creator signing off. See you in the next video. Cheers.